One Piece chapter 1126, it is titled Settling the Score. The cover page consists of Yamato eating soba at a local shop in Curie, which is reporting that there are missing girls from the shop. So not only is Minatomo missing, but now girls are missing, so more likely than not Yamato is going to find out why these people are missing. The chapter starts off with an update of how the giants met each other. Oimo and Kashi went to Little Garden in order to see the captains themselves, and Dory and Bragi, they were still fighting at Little Garden. Even though their weapons were destroyed, they were fighting with their bare hands, and Oimo and Kashi convinced these two to head back to Elbaf, where we find out the reason why Dory and Bragi are headed there, not to go and visit the other giants. No, it's to get new weapons. Nami, she doesn't approve this, and Usopp tries to talk to Nami about the idea of two men fighting, which is a reference to the first time that Nami and Usopp met Bragi at Little Garden. But everyone's celebrating, and Bonnie, she is happy that she gets to sail with her father because of the promise that they had in the past, where once Bonnie would be healed and she turned a certain age, that these two would travel the world together. Y'all remember a while ago when Bartolomeo burnt Shanks's flag? Well, that was the island of Gartel, and a month had passed, and now Shanks, he confronted Bartolomeo about it, which makes sense because Shanks, he said instead of meeting Luffy that he has to handle Bartolomeo. Now, why did Bartolomeo stay here for a month thinking that Shanks wouldn't have come? I have no idea. Maybe he thought that Luffy's name, since he's a Yonko, would be enough to make Shanks stay away, but this is not going to work, obviously, because Bartolomeo is ignorant to the fact that Shanks and Luffy have a close relationship. And at the same time, if Bartolomeo knew that because of how much he respects Luffy, he wouldn't have burnt the flag in the first place. Nevertheless, Bartolomeo, he did burn Shanks's flag, and now he has to suffer the consequences. I really like this line from Shanks where he talks about how so many people, different crews and different islands, they rely on his flag for protection, so he can't just let this incident slide. I think there are so many people that get caught up with Yonko's strength, and rightfully so, but I think sometimes we overlook the fact that their strength has much greater meaning than just being able to beat up someone, and I plan on doing an in-depth video talking about this probably later this week, since One Piece is supposed to be on break this week. But Bartolomeo, after getting beaten up, is apologizing. He is on his knees begging for forgiveness, and because of this, Hongo gives Bartolomeo an ultimatum. He can either give a deadly poison to Luffy in a month and they'd overlook the incident if his boss takes responsibility, and if not, then there would be bigger consequences. Instead of doing that, Bartolomeo takes the poison himself, and I gotta give credit when credit is due. I respect Bartolomeo a hell of a lot more because he did this, because instead of running to Luffy with a problem that he created and Luffy didn't orchestrate, he manned up and took the poison himself, and I respect it. After taking the poison, there actually wasn't anything wrong with him, and it caused Bartolomeo to burp, so the poison, it was all a hoax, which isn't surprising because yes, Shanks is a monster when he fights for his friends, but at the same time, he's not a heartless monster. I think Shanks is the perfect definition of a pirate. He does whatever he wants, he does what he deems to be necessary, and doesn't use unnecessary force. And at the same time, because Bartolomeo is so loyal to Luffy, I don't think Shanks would have tried to kill him. Bartolomeo, thinking that Shanks is soft, he ended up fleeing and is like, oh, I didn't expect a Yonko to be this, easygoing and this soft. Maybe they're all like this. And boy, was he wrong, because later in the chapter, Shanks, he's smiling, talking about, hey, like somebody so dedicated and devoted to Luffy, and Yasop, he's like, oh, that's cool and all, but we got to teach him a lesson. And he ended up shooting Bartolomeo's ship, and the Barto Club has now sunk, and their status is unknown. I'm not going to talk about Bartolomeo too much because yes, he's a Devil Fruit user, but at the same time, he probably has non-Devil Fruit users on his ship, and I think he's going to be safe and fine, and we'll see him again eventually with an even bigger and better Luffy ship. But I do want to address something with Yasop. I get it, this is Oda's story, and like power scaling isn't necessarily the forefront of a story, but at the same time, it is important because it provides consistency when it comes to just strengthening the series in power systems in general. So I'm a little bit tired of seeing certain things be inconsistent. Like, okay, I get it, Oda, he loves the red hair pirates, he's gonna glaze them a lot, but we're in the final saga, and that means that characters aren't going to level up as exponentially as they have in the past. And so the Blackbeard pirates, they're going to be some of the main antagonists, whether it's just against the Straw Hats or we speculate it'll be the red hair pirates. So why is it, and I get it that the anime, that it's not canon to the manga, and that you know, there are going to be certain liberties that the anime can take, but at the same time, they're not going to just completely do a 180 to the story, and they're going to get Oda's permission. But a few episodes into Egghead, we see Van Augur be able to destroy Cracker's biscuits like it's nothing, but then when they go against a Sulong Beppo, he struggles and he can't even destroy the rock. And if Yasop is going to be Van Augur's opponent, and Yasop could one-shot a ship from that distance, then like they shouldn't be nowhere near on the same level. So yeah, I gotta give credit when credit's due. I think the moment was cool from Yasop, definitely portrayed and displayed his strength, but I'm just kind of tired of seeing strength be all over the place. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. I greatly appreciate it. Blackbeard, he arrives at Hachinosu and he's chewing Pizarro out for allowing Koby to escape. Since the world is on the brink, the poneglyphs aren't a secret anymore, and it's going to be a hard battle to get them, not just amongst the Yonko, but amongst other pirates that are going after the One Piece. There's a beautiful double spread of the captains meeting and discussing what happened at Hachinosu, and even though Koby escaped, they now have Garp, which is a great consolation prize, and people want to make comments about Aokiji's statements and how he thought that he killed Garp, but he ended up being alive. I personally don't think that that's the case. I mean, if you look at what happened in Aokiji's past, when, you know, we thought that he killed Saul, but in actuality he didn't, so I don't think we can necessarily take this statement at face value. But Garp, he's in change, and I love it because it shows the parallel between Garp and Ace here when he was a prisoner at Impel Down. And not only that, Blackbeard, he captured Ace back at the end of Water 7, and that started the Marineford War. So the capture of Garp here, is that going to be the start of the final war? We also see Pudding here. Blackbeard, he mentions that they have the three-eyed girl, and we know that once her third eye is awakened, that she can read the poneglyphs. I wonder if Pudding being kidnapped is how Katakuri is going to come back into the story. We know that he's willing to do anything and everything for his siblings, especially his sisters like Brule. We saw it in Whole Cake Island as well as in the film Red. Blackbeard connects to Lafayette, and in the anime recently, it was animated, Sabo talking about what the revolutionaries accomplished at Mary Joa, and they talked about how they affected the Celestial Dragon's food supply. And in this chapter, Lafayette goes into more detail about how this is happening. The different bondolas, they keep breaking down and crashing whenever food is delivered to Mary Joa, and Blackbeard, he tells Lafayette to get ready because they're going to make their move, which is similar to what Dragon said at the end of the last chapter. And I wonder if this means that Blackbeard is going to have a clash against the revolutionaries. You also have to mention that Katarina Devon, Van Augur, and Caribou, they arrived at Hachinosu, and Blackbeard, he's about to finally hear about the ancient weapons. The chapter ends with the Giants and the Straw Hats questioning what happened as they passed out drunk. It's been 2 days since they set sail for Elbaf, and they haven't arrived. The Sunny is missing, as well as Nami and Luffy, and those are the only confirmed Straw Hats that are missing, but there could be a couple more, because at the beginning of the chapter, a Giant said that they were drinking a booze called the Green Fairy, which could cause them to hallucinate, and those that were drinking it at the beginning of the chapter was Usopp, Nami, Sanji, and Zoro, and we didn't see them towards the end of the chapter. A voice is also telling Nami to wake up. We'll have to wait for the anime or next chapter to confirm who this voice is, but if I was a betting person, I'd say it's probably Zeus, since he's always with her. But Nami, she wakes up and appears to be in her Elbaf outfit in a room that looks like Legos, and Oda, he created a cover page where the Straw Hats were building Legos, which you also see was used and showcased in the anime opening 16. There are two individuals that I speculate could have been involved in Nami's disappearance, the first one being Loki, because we know that he is the Prince of Elbaf, and Loki is also known as the God of Mischief, and back during Whole Cake Island, Nami was the only Straw Hat to hear the story of Lola and Loki in the past, so maybe Oda did this intentionally. The other person that I think it could be, and not nearly as much as the other one, but it is a possibility, so I wanted to bring it up, would be the Man by Flames, and this is because, well, everybody was knocked unconscious, so maybe he made his move. As I mentioned, I don't think it's as likely as the other one. If I had to bet, I do think it was probably Loki. But yeah, that's it for chapter 1126. We are officially starting Elbaf, and I'm really excited for it. Let me know how you guys felt about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on this screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.